What's up, West Side? It's West of the 110 back again. Just coming through you with a quick pop up. It's a lot of stuff going on, but I want to start off by saying I hope you had a great weekend. Hope everything going smooth for you. Hope you're going to enjoy your Taco Tuesday today. Um, y'all by the beach areas. I hope y'all avoiding those high waves, the risk of flooding in low lying coastal areas. They were saying it's a threat, you know what I'm saying? And I say that to say this because, rest in peace to the young girl who lost her life that was swept out by the waves here in California. It is real out there when they give you these weather alerts. Take precaution. Um, like you say, I forgot that saying. It's something like if you have to like question it, don't do it, or something like that. I forgot. I forgot how it goes, but it's a saying that a lot of people who surf they go out there and say that saying. But pay attention to the weather and news when they give you alerts. You listen. Don't just go out there thinking you're he man or he woman and it doesn't apply to you. So rest in peace to the young girl. Um, thoughts, prayers go out to the family of the young girl. They have to deal with that tragedy because a few people were swept out. She was the only one who didn't survive. So now they have to, those families have to plan this and that. So, thoughts and prayers to the families. Also, too, going on in Los Angeles over the last few days, there's been a few shootings going on. Don't know the ending results of those, but yesterday there was, I want to say someone was unalived here in South Los Angeles on the 83rd in Normandy area at the dairy market. They had video and a little coverage of it showing it taped off. Someone was sitting in a car and apparently was unalived in a car. So it's getting dangerous out here. And a lot of stuff like that is going on. And this would lead me to not say this conclusion is the reason, but you have to figure out what's going on. So you got to go bits and pieces. A lot of people don't pay attention to a lot of people don't pay attention to the small things that go on, but you got to, because a lot of small things that happen come together and become a big issue. So a big issue that's going on in South Los Angeles, especially in the Black communities. Right now, roughly the unemployment rate in the Black communities is about 20%. Now, that's very high in LA. 20%, that is very high. Um, but right now, in certain areas of South LA, like the Crenshaw area, unemployment rates in that area is 22%. Now, 22% unemployment rate right now is that is very high. So I said, damn, man, like, is there not any jobs? I mean, it seems like, and you hear a lot of people who's lived in South LA who don't anymore, and people who stay there. There's parks around, city parks. You have over 420 city parks, to be exact, if I'm not mistaken. I got some numbers here, but we'll get into that. There's over 400 parks, I believe, in South LA that employees manage, recreation and park employees. So I look at certain things and jobs like that because I said a lot of people go to parks. A lot of people grew up in parks, and a lot of the parks that I remember going to back in the day, the people who worked in the parks lived actually in that area. Whether they were Black, Hispanic, whatever, they actually lived in that area. Nowadays, you go to certain parks, you don't know anybody working there. A lot of people are being given these jobs who live in other communities to work in a community where you should have some of these jobs going to. Like, people have kids that are 17, 18, 16 that can have a little summer job. You know what I'm saying? Some of these kids for the summer, maybe they want to work part-time at the recs and parks. I know you got to be 18 or over to work for the city, but so let's say 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, some of these 18-year-olds who just graduated from high school looking for a little gig to get going. Maybe some of them before they go off to college. Um, the unemployment rate here in LA is just drastic. So I'm going to bite off a small piece of the pie, but this small piece of the pie can put a dent in numbers that are going on in South LA, because this is a majority of what's in the city that can possibly employ people. And I'm not saying this just to say, oh, this is what I see. I've worked for Los Angeles City Recreation and Parks before on 2 stints. So I'm not one of them employees. I was never fired or anything. I voluntarily left for a better job at the time. And did I learn a lot of stuff from the city of Los Angeles? Yes, I did. I learned a very lot. Stuff I didn't know. They teach you a lot. If you're there to learn, you're gonna learn a lot, regardless. Um, I learned a lot. I seen a lot. I seen a lot of bullshit. Like this one incident, and this is no secret. This is you can Google this. You know, this is public information. When I worked for the city of Los Angeles, there was a park maintenance supervisor, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember his name, but it was an older Hispanic guy. He's in the San Fernando Valley at the time. He got sent out. And like I said, I learned a lot working for the city of Los Angeles, like how to learn to do things, and also I learned there was a lot of bullshit going on. They had a meeting going on. Now I'm gonna say allegedly because I wasn't there, but this is all in writing in Google. This is fact. This is no bullshit. You know, apparently he was speaking to a bunch of part timers, and there was a Caucasian male part timer, a young guy, and this guy got up there saying, City of LA this and that, taught me this and that, and one thing that I learned also in the city of Los Angeles that he said. Now, mind you, this was a supervisor for the city of Los Angeles, Hispanic guy. He said one thing working for the city of Los Angeles that I learned is that I don't like white people. And there happened to be a young white male sitting in that audience, which actually, did what he should have done, got a lawsuit against the city, won. But, this employee wasn't terminated. He was just moved to another department. Sadly, that's how shit goes. But I say that to say this, just to show you the fuckery that goes on in some of these local governments. But again, the times I worked there, don't get me wrong. A lot of people might say, "Oh, this is under Bass." Look, when I worked for the city, Mayor Bass was not even the mayor. I think who was the mayor at the time? I think it was Garcetti, former mayor Garcetti. And there's a lot of shit that went on during his mayoral stay. A lot of stuff that he didn't receive too much scrutiny about that a lot of people are throwing on Karen Bass. Do I think Karen Bass is the major problem in LA? No. She inherited a lot of bullshit that was going on. It takes a strong person to stand into a position to even want to represent a city, with all the chaos going on. So I mean, me personally, I'm not saying that as a supporter of Karen Bass. Like, I don't really try to get into that too much, but I can honestly say I'm not a hater, but I'm not a supporter of Karen Bass. But I will say this: everybody can't put all the problems on one person, which some of these problems were going on even before she took office. And as of now, Karen Bass running off against Nithya Raman should be pretty interesting. Should be very interesting. I think this will be probably the first time, or maybe not, but just from my opinion, from as long as I've been born, maybe seeing two women of who aren't, Caucasian going against each other to represent Los Angeles. But hey, you never know, man. We'll see how that turns out. I know Spencer Pratt is still on the prowl, thinking he was cheated. A lot of things. Governor race, Hilton, Becerra are going to face off. But back to the Rex and Parks. So 20% unemployment rate in recreation and parks. There's 20% unemployment rate. Not in recreation and park. 20% unemployment rate in the Black communities, specifically South Los Angeles and the Crenshaw district area. The unemployment rate is at 22%. That's almost 25%, a quarter of the people in these areas aren't working. So I say you have parks everywhere that look to employ a lot of people. The city has money. They have part-timers. I got some numbers for you. So LA City Rec and Parks, they employ 1,700 full-time employees and 5,000 part-timers. So with that being said, you have 6,700 employees, maybe more. It could be more from the time these numbers were accumulated. So Gender distribution, women approximately 44%, with 81% of the female city employees being people of color. Now, when they say people of color, I mean, I don't know what that means. Um, does that mean black people or what? You know what I'm saying? And speaking of that too, well, I'll get into that a little later, but men 56% and the ethnicity breakdown. It says white Caucasian 44%, Hispanic or Latino 34%. Asian 10%, while black is 7% to 10%. Now, what I was about to say earlier a few seconds ago is pertaining to the black population. Now, when they say black 7% to 10%, I think it's lower than that because working there at the city, I seen that a lot of the people that the city would consider to be black, or as they say African American, which is crazy because none of my relatives from years all the way back to from where we tracked the 1700s, nowhere was from Africa, but that's another story. um a lot of people tend to add a lot of people from Jamaica, Belize, other islands where the people tend to be black into the black population in these numbers at the job, but it's crazy because in those circles we see that a lot of people, and let's be real, we all have black friends or friends who are from Belize, Jamaica, these Nicaragua, Panama, Guatemala, black Guatemala, shit like that, but they cool with you, but in the circle at work, they're not black, like what Godfrey and a lot of comedians say, I know black, like Dominicans, yeah, we look just the same, the hair look just like yours, but I know black, I'm not the same. They do a little salsa dance. um what's up, vibes of a melanin queen?
Hey, nothing to listening, joining in. I didn't hear the beginning of your topic, so I'm just listening until I can chime in.
I got you. Well, like I said, I was just breaking down the numbers, basically saying, like, I'm not saying this is the big reason why there's so a high unemployment rate, not blaming this on the city of Los Angeles or not blaming this on the recreations and parks department. Just saying that in the city of Los Angeles, I've worked for the city of Los Angeles. A lot of people I've had on my shows from now and old shows from the After Party Radio have worked for LA County or LA City, some police officers and, other departments. So I'm familiar with how a lot of things go there, and not saying the operation itself, but just saying some things that could be changed to help out the city. Meaning, like in LA, why the high crime? Because if you got 20 to 22% unemployment in South LA, that means you got a quarter of the people not working. That's a quarter of the people who got time to think about bad shit to do. You give people some jobs. So I say, okay, what is it to do? A lot of people are tied to an area because of choices they made. Hey, I'm not blaming nobody else for the choices they made, but just say that to say this. A lot of people who may be a part of a gang who can't go to another area, they can go to a park where they live at or an adjacent park in another area that's cool with the area they come from. And this can help the black unemployment rate. But some people say that, oh, well, these jobs are already taken. Yeah, okay, well, let's dive into that. So that's where the numbers come from. So let's see. LA City Recreation and Park employs 1,700 full-time and 5,000 part-timers. The gender distribution, women approximately 44%, with 81% of female city employees being people of color, which I don't know, they can be Indian, African, whatever.
Yeah.
Men 56%, ethnicity breakdown, white Caucasian 44%, Hispanic or Latino 34%, Asian 10%, black 7 to 10%. And like I say again, that they add Jamaican, Belizean Islanders to the blacks, and then inside the jobs, it's like it's divided because they don't side with the blacks. A lot of them tend to side with the Hispanics.
Hmm.
Um
A lot of
70
them get mad even when they have to check off like black or African American on their application on certain things because they don't have that okay, they're Caribbean or they're Islanders. It says black or African American.
Yeah, which I feel it should just, say, like for foundational Black Americans, like I said, a lot of people may say, "Oh, well, my great grandmother on my mother's side was British." No, well, where was your great great grandmother and grandfather from? Where the seed came from? Where was they from? you but looking at the number, 70% of employees who work for the city of Los Angeles. Now check this out. Like what I was saying. Now, this is included. Like 70% of employees reside within LA city limits. Statistics show this from an LA city website. So basically saying most of the employees who work for the city all stay in like a city area,
Hmm.
Meaning that, okay, these other people who can't get a job there, why? Some people might say, well, maybe they got records. Okay, yeah, they got records, or the record they have shouldn't stop them from having a job. Me personally, and it's just my opinion. It's certain crimes that people penalize people too much for. Say for instance, now I don't like thieves. I don't care who you are. I don't give a shit if you was. Some people might say, "Oh, well, I was stealing to eat," but you can't do that every day. Like, I mean, you shouldn't be stealing at all. But if you were hungry and it's some shit spur of the moment, some you never done before, it might be understandable. But if you've been stealing food for the last 15 years, you're just a thief now.
Uh-huh.
So so when they go to people with records who've been stealing and shit like that, that's different. I'm talking about other shit like, you got some people who may have got caught with a gun or something like that. Some people hear that and got a felony because they got caught with a gun. Oh, I'm not going to hire this person. All they did was got caught with a gun. Maybe they needed to protect themselves. It's crazy out there.
Yeah.
So you're not going to hire this man to stock a box in the back of your Family Dollar? You know, um,
Well, they're gonna justify it and say, "Well, how we know he won't pull a gun out on us one day?"
True. And well, like I say, also too, back to the city. Okay, these are jobs in the open. Let's go back to the. I'm talking about the riffraff, because majority of the people who are unemployed in that 20%, I'm going to say are the riffraffs, which people call them. So a lot of the riffraffs aren't stupid. People think they are.
Mhm.
So my thing is, okay, why can't they get a job with the city? Say they're just as qualified as majority of the employees they have there. Say, how is that? Say, okay, this ain't just from this isn't just from how do I say it, an opinion. I've seen it, you know. Um and a law says, from what I'm about to say, a lot of people who work for the city of Los Angeles, they don't know how to speak English. They don't even know how to read English. They don't know how to write English. And some of these people are full time. They got grandfathered in the full time. They drive equipment. You know what I'm saying? They can't even hold a full conversation with you because they don't comprehend the language. And now, mind you, I didn't say no race, because the city of Los Angeles hires a lot of people. I've worked with Hispanics who can't speak English, Asians who can't speak English, who they put in certain areas of the city where they have parks predominantly occupied by either Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, somebody that they so quote will feel comfortable around.
Mhm.
So I've worked with a lot of these people, you know what I'm saying? And I say that to say this. So when they say the unemployment rate is so high in LA because, oh, they criminals, they can't do, they're not qualified. So you're telling me that it's a lot of people work for the city too that got past criminal histories also. Let's be real. Um, you're saying these people can't work because they got a criminal history, but as an individual who can't speak or read English is not legally or operationally equipped to operate commercial city equipment for Los Angeles. So I say this for the Black unemployment rate again. How many people live in the city of LA? How many people live in the city of Los Angeles and have seen and been to parks and spoken to people that work at parks? And I'm not talking about no race, wherever you at, and they couldn't even give you directions or tell you where something's at because they don't know how to speak English. And you see some of these people
Yeah,
driving
and
these.
that
No,
happens
go.
a lot.
It happens a lot, and you see a lot of these people driving the little carts around, even driving the little yellow city trucks. I happen to jog at a lot of the city parks in the mornings and stuff, and I speak Spanish, so I talk to a lot of people in their language. So it's normal to me, like when I speak to people, I can comprehend whatever they speak. But I notice some people who don't speak Spanish or go to some of the parks where the employee there is Asian. I've worked with some Asian employees who speak minimal English, just enough to say, hey, hi, be like, hey, what's up, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine, how are you? Good. What time you start? Oh, 6. What time you off? 2:30. Okay, see you. That's all they know. you know
And that's
and
the crazy part.
that's the crazy part. And like I say, I'll say that again.
Mhm.
An individual, this is law. An individual who cannot speak or read English is not legally or operationally equipped to operate commercial city equipment for City of Los Angeles. So, and these numbers in LA, 20 to 22% unemployment rate in Los Angeles, these are significantly higher than, some of the white areas in Los Angeles, like by double.
Yeah.
And and
Well,
and
Los Angeles is inside of California, and we know what kind of corruption California is about. So it's just like they make ways for people, like saying people who English is their second language. And I'm not just speaking of one group, I'm speaking of all the groups who English is their second language. It's not their first language. They make things easier for them because it's easier to outsource with them than it is to hire somebody who speaks English first, who's going to demand everything to be given to them that they are due. Like you will undercut other people because of their barrier, which is their language. That's their barrier. And you will undercut them because they don't understand. They don't know no better. And they're going to take whatever you offer them.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of loopholes it's a lot of loopholes and bullshit that goes on in California, and I'm pretty sure every other state too has it, but we don't hear about it because we don't live there.
Yeah.
Um, this is why I try to reach out to and network with people who live in other states. Shout out to uh Stringfellow Taylor and Association law firm in Houston, Texas. One, areas down there, different sources. Shout out to my boy Wizard of Oz. That's what I call him. What is good in Connecticut? Doing his journalism thing, getting his interviews with celebrities we seeing on TV. I just spoke with him the other day. So it's only way we know what's going on in other places is through networking, and not just networking with anybody. You got to watch who you share information with. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just share everything you get from other people. It got to be credible.
Yeah. Always make sure it's credible because once it become on your like say for people that do podcasts, so once it become on there and you giving away fraudulent information or it's not credible and it's just, I mean, it makes you look bad because then people ain't going to want to hear nothing you got to say.
And that's true. And that's like this information that I'm providing to people today. This isn't from my opinion. Go to your
The
Google.
fact.
Go Google it. You can Google it yourself. These are some facts. These are statistics that LAUSD provide. I mean LAUSD, City of Los Angeles provide. And even speaking of LAUSD, they have the same statistics, a demographic of students. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, employees,
No,
employment. Um,
LAUSD got it the worst. I'm gonna say that, and
and,
not
and
saying it's a. I mean, it's a messed up thing because a lot of people get overlooked because these people can speak Spanish, and Latino is the biggest community in LAUSD schools. So it's like everybody, even white people, are getting overlooked because they don't speak Spanish.
well, And so crazy. I've been getting messages and been seeing a lot of emails and pop-ups in the last few days of LAUSD enrollment rate significantly decreasing
Mhm.
rapidly. And I say that to say this. I mean, look at what's going on. Like even they have now they saying LAUSD eyes 86% cuts to the Black Student Achievement Plan, which is a program where
Mhm.
Black students are progressing, and now all of a sudden they want to
They
take a
want to
hit on
take it
that.
away.
But look at all the money that's being pumped into LAUSD for English learner classes, which saying not saying it's not beneficial, because they're like, from graduations we recently came from, we seen the students they were awarding who, were just predominantly Spanish speakers. Now they speaking fluent English, so it's helping some students. But it was only
Mhm.
about 8 or 9 kids, and this is a program that's been going on for over 30 years. The BSAP program's only been around for 5, and the numbers are showing that in comparison to where the EL program started, and this program is actually moving at a faster pace. It may not be like a large number, just say at the time frame where BSAP is at now in comparison to where these EL programs were.
Well, see, you got to think about it too. When BSAP started, I need to look up the actual date because I don't want to give any
Well,
wrong information.
BSAP has only been around, I want to say, a little over 5 years. It hasn't been around that long.
Okay, but when BSAP, even if it's been around 5 years, there was still a pandemic going on during that time. So it was kind of hard for them to have the black students to interact in that program. And I think it was around a little longer than that. But just saying, like during that time period, that time frame, um, black kids weren't really going to school. No kid was really going to school. And then it's like when people did start bringing their kids back to school, that program kind of got it got in some trouble, basically, where the Hispanic community was saying they didn't think it was fair that the black kids had a program that was just for them, which wasn't fair that they have a program that's just for your kids too, but you just don't take advantage of it. You just see this community got something that's going for themselves and for them students, and you want in. And this happens a lot in the community, and just in the world in general. Black people can never have something of their own because everyone wants to um, copy it, and everyone wants to be involved with it. Everyone wants to be a part of it. And if you don't let them, then they're going to cry wolf and say that, oh, that's racist,
Yeah,
that's biased.
and it's not just like, I remember, rest in peace to Mr. Terry Anderson. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2010 when he passed. I remember him saying this, saying that you have kids in school who's in these English learner programs, or who's not learning a damn thing, because people forgot that those programs weren't just like specifically to teach, like, or not English learner, but back in the day it was called ESL classes when I was in school.
Hmm.
English as a second language or something like that. So,
Yeah,
it was teaching kids to speak English, but it was also supposed to teach English learners how to speak Spanish.
yeah, and it
But
was.
and a lot of the kids weren't, like Terry Anderson said, you got kids who weren't learning a damn thing in schools. It's not because they didn't want to, it's because they used it to focus on the students learning
Teaching
English.
them the ones that's learning English. Hmm.
So when they take programs away, like, it's just crazy, because at the end of the day, the kids suffer. And I'm gonna be real, like, I worked at LAUSD myself before in the past. I worked for numerous of other school districts in the past. And the way a lot of things are ran in the districts, it's a money grab. You see people, teachers, staff members, they don't give a shit about what's going on. They just there to collect a check. Whenever there's overtime, they want to get it all because they know that, oh, it's just extra money. And it's just sad, because back in the day, people really cared about stuff they did at work because their
Yeah.
name meant something.
Mhm.
Nowadays, you can go to the local bakery. Back in the day, a little corner diner or a little corner store where the ladies or somebody bake fresh shit in the morning. They would they would put love into it. Like, they love coming to where I gotta make sure this tastes a certain way. I'm not finna sell people bullshit. Nowadays, people will sell you anything just to get your money.
Just to get your money. They don't give a darn. That's why I don't eat everybody food. I don't care. People be making food and they want you to buy a plate and stuff like that. Like, you can't trust everybody food. Not everybody take care of they selves. So what makes you think they're gonna take care of your food?
Man, and you know what's so crazy? It's funny you said that. I remember, shit, it was years ago. My partner, he was talking some crazy stuff about, they were making some like pans. I forgot what it's called, but it's like some pans that they sell to people. The pan already had multiple stuff in it. You buy it for like $40 or some shit like that.
Mhm.
And they would sit out on this corner. But I remember one time he was telling me a story about, how him and his fiance was getting it on as they was cooking and just start getting it on. But I'm listening to him and I'm saying to myself, these motherfuckers was getting shit everywhere in that house. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking shit, but they was getting, you having sex around food in the kitchen, then you selling pans and shit. Like, bro, what type of shit is this? So I say that to say this. You don't know what people be doing around your food.
Cool.
No.
Something I did want to bring to your attention was what was that? The Asian blackout
Oh, and that's pertaining
when
to a
the
video.
boycott.
Yeah.
What
But
happened to?
before you say that, that's that for people to know, that's pertaining to a video that a male put out on Facebook. It was an Asian male basically saying like the black community wouldn't survive without the Asian contribution of like the markets and
Mhm.
the Chinese restaurants and stuff like that. So no, go ahead.
So recently, as of like maybe 2 days now, I've been seeing a lot of videos of people showing Asian business that's in the predominant black community, which there usually are, putting their business in and saying that they don't need us and that a blackout wouldn't do nothing. But a lot of these places have been emptied. A lot of the nail shops have been empty. A lot of the beauty supply stores have been empty. It really like kind of ticked me off at the one video I seen where the Asian lady was saying, stay out the beauty supply stores and rock your bald headed hair and your bald headed heads and your nappy little heads. And I'm like, not all black women have to wear those things. Like these things are enhancers, is what they are called, and it enhances a woman's beauty and she makes it her own. That's one thing black women are good at. We take something and we make it our own. A lot of the times we don't take nothing or appropriate somebody else's culture. We do our own thing and we stay in our own lane, and people get mad at that. But long story short, when she said that, I'm like, a lot of these women need to start wearing their natural hair. A lot of women have beautiful hair. They just don't see it enough. They see all these wigs and all these baddies wearing and think that that's the only thing that they can do is wear wigs. Like you have beautiful hair underneath that wig. Why don't you wear it? I don't understand it. But that was a little ramble, but that video kind of ticked me off. I didn't like the way she did that.
Yeah, that is true. What's up, Russ? What's the word?
Hi, Russ.
Uh-oh.
Is he driving?
I was just driving and podding.
Can't hear him.
I can't hear you. Oh, Russ said he having technical difficulties over there. Russ said, yeah, man, I'm out here finna buy the Astrodome real quick. I just want to chime in.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, Russ. I can't hear you. But I mean, I think the Asian blackout, I mean, some people gotta really stick to certain stuff. Now, mind you, I'm not telling people, oh, don't go to these spots. That's not what I'm doing. But something that was already set in motion that a lot of people that's already seen and already been that's a lot of people that seen and a lot of people that already start partaking in. You see it. I mean, because it's kind of crazy that just the comfortability level of people to just disrespect black people like that. Like it's from there. Like this dude thought it was so cool. Like this is what the reality is. A lot of people don't even realize that they lost mentally. If you think you can get on social media and make a video about black people like that and like you it's just cool, like who the fuck are you?
While
Like,
wearing his hat like a black person.
you know what I'm saying? Hey, what up, Russ?
All right, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got you. We got you, man. What you think about that, man, Russ? What you think about that? I don't know if you seen that video about the guy, Asian guy rambling about black people need to like basically shut up and shit, because we wouldn't survive
Hmm.
without them.
I mean, that's bullshit. How the hell do they believe that they're needed or necessary for our survival? I mean, that's arrogance at its best.
It's fine.
I mean, it is, and then
Yeah,
I seen online somebody tried to say, well, it wasn't for like Asians, there wouldn't be no trains. I said, y'all forgot it was the blacks on the other side too. It wasn't just one railroad,
Hmm.
being built. You know what I'm saying? Who else was on the other side? They brought Asians over too because they craftiness, they architectural work and shit like that. They use of dynamite. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. The
But
the
they
blow.
needed our strength. They needed our strength mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Oh yeah, but don't get me wrong. If I'm not mistaken, a lot of the blacks didn't work with them. They had they brought the Asians to build the tracks too on like a separate project. A lot of the blacks
Hmm.
too, they were trying to reach a certain point, at the same point, so they can connect. So my thing is, a lot of people try to say, well, this is our contributions and this is why we're so important. Hey, black people are not downplaying the contribution that people think that their forefathers made over here. Hey, if that's the case, hey, so be it. Who are we to say something? But you can't downplay everything black people have done and then make it seem like the minimal thing that you say your people have done is more than what black people have done.
Hmm.
And so when guys like that get on air and talk that crazy stuff, it's like what is it? Do you feel comfortable saying that because what you know how to fight or something? You can kick somebody's ass? like what
Put
does
up
that
that
go
video of
prove?
that lady that said, "You know karate, so do I."
And she said, you know karate, so do I. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just crazy. And then they try to say black people whine too much. You don't see black people getting on no videos rambling about, after that guy
Tired of
who
hearing that. Like, the black people is not whining. My thing is, we want our fucking respect. We want our peace. We want y'all to leave us the fuck alone and let us be. Like, damn, how long do we gotta fight to just be alive, to just be human, to just be a person like everybody else without you thinking we're a threat, we're a thug, we're a killer, we're everything under God's son, but a damn human.
well, that's the thing, man. It's not so much of what people have allowed to happen, it's so much what the black race have allowed to happen. Just like a big issue going on in LA, even from the older people in the Hispanic community, they even talk to some of their youths telling them, why are y'all using that N-word? That's not your word. Um, like you shouldn't be going around using it. I've heard older Hispanics say that to their little homies, and they little homies like, yeah, man, shit, I hang with them. They're my niggas, whoa, whoa, whoa. And but I say that's the shit that people allow. Like I don't allow black people to address me as that. So I'm definitely not gonna allow somebody else who's not black to do it.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean, like at the end of the day, I feel like it was wrong for a lot of people to say it. I don't think we should be saying it, but even if we were to say it, I feel like that's just a word that should be within our community and it shouldn't be used the way that they use it. Because a lot of the times when you hear them say that word, they're saying it in a provocative way. They're the fuck you nigga, like what's up my nigga and this nigga, and it's like come on now, y'all not using it in the way that we use it. A lot of the times when you call a friend, when you call somebody, oh what's up my nigga, or, how you doing, like yeah, it can be, it just depends on what neighborhood you are. You got the ghetto and you got the hood, so you kind of gonna hear that more in the ghetto than you are gonna hear it in the hood, but I'm just saying it shouldn't be used everywhere. Like everyone shouldn't be saying it. No, we shouldn't be saying it either. Because look at where the river's from. Like no, like
yeah, it arises from that, and also too, rest in peace to the person that lost their life in that B-52 crash near Edwards Air Force Base in California the other day. Um just looking at that, I tell a lot of people, yeah, stuff can happen so fast, man. That's why you gotta you gotta stay prayed up. You gotta say a prayer. Tell people you love them before they leave the house. You know what I'm saying? These guys probably went to the base to take off, but just had to throw that in there. But yeah, man. Some people have to get back into reality here in LA, man. Some people don't even pay attention to what's going on. One thing I do want to say also too is I think I had this conversation with you, and something that I come to the realization of, if I want people to think about this, especially people who are like, not knocking people who aren't from America originally, but just saying for all my people that come from the South, black, white, whatever, that moved to New York, California, and other places. Just imagine if everybody went back home to where their daddy was born and bought land there and, built up where they was from. I bet money the South would be the new West Coast.
Yeah.
Like for real. Because a lot of people in Louisiana moved out to California. I know a lot of people from Arkansas, St. Louis areas moved up to Chicago. Some people from Mississippi, Alabama moved to New York area. But I say that to say this: just imagine, some people like me. I'm a first generation Californian. My mom and daddy wasn't born here. I was born here. They was born down south. So, like in reality, my ties are to down south. I'm born in California, but I mean, everybody I know, all my uncles, aunties, everybody, they were all born down south. So it's like, as far as lineage in California, yeah, I'm a first generation California. You ain't gonna find none of my background from my people 200 years ago in California, but you're gonna find it down south.
Yeah.
So I tell people that's a part of reality. Some people got to snap back into. That's something to think about too. If you were to go buy a little piece of land somewhere, if 400 people in California went to buy a little small piece of land from where their daddy came from, or say you can't stand the motherfucker, you don't like him or never knew him, where your mama came from, you know what I'm saying, down south, buy a piece of land there, and I guarantee you, y'all could turn a city that probably got a population of 4 people into a city of 400,000 in 3 years.
Mm.
I mean, that's just something to think about too, because a lot of people tend to stick around California and put up with bullshit from employers, put up with bullshit, not treated fair. You got fucking some unions that don't look out for you for shit. And like, I've been a part of so many unions, and you have some great unions and you have some that it's like, how the hell are you a union rep? Like, bro, get out of here, man. Only thing y'all do is worry about what y'all gonna eat today. And that's one thing I hate working for some employers, working around a bunch of people who don't care about the job. They more focus on what type of lunch they gonna eat, how good and big they lunch gonna be. Like, bro, you need to focus on this heavy task we got coming up. You just worry about, are you gonna have time to pick this lunch up and eat it before you got to get back to work?
And that's the crazy part. Just don't care.
They don't care. And some people don't talk about that. You should complain to your bosses about some of these fat ass people you work with, because if these jobs have safety issues and jobs have standards like police officers, um, how would you feel knowing that somebody just broke into your house and just fled away? And the cops got there pretty quick, like in 30 seconds. You tell them, oh, they just left. They're on foot, and you see somebody in the distance running in the back through an open field, and you see 2 big fat ass cops get out the car. Are you confident that they're going to catch this guy?
Nope.
So this is what I tell people. A lot of the power is in your hand. Just like down south, you're able to elect a constable, which is a police officer that you elect. You elect this person. You like how that movie The Rundown was? They elected The Rock to be the sheriff in that town.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the power is in people's hand. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to put up with a lot of this BS that goes on. Know your rights. If you're a taxpaying citizen, some people don't even know their own worth. If you spend majority or most of your life living right, you never done anything, you're a law-abiding citizen, your voice means something.
And it does. A lot of people don't know that.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people let these jobs do what they want to do to them. And again, like I say, I go back to the city of Los Angeles. Hell, a lot of from the times I worked there, I don't work there now, but the times I did, a lot of people let shit go. You know, there's a lot of people get hurt and don't say shit, don't do this, don't do that. I mean, I will say
Oh
this
no.
too.
Well, for one, when you try to get workers comp, man, they do everything they can to keep you from getting it.
Yeah, they do. They do. Had a powerful earthquake in Indonesia, 6.7 earthquake, 32 injures 32 people and damaged buildings. Um, yeah, that's true. And I mean, but hey, that's the workforce nowadays. It's what people allow. Like I say, man, what surprisingly, I tell people be cautious. You know how many motherfuckers, these drunk motherfuckers that work for the city that be driving these trucks and shit y'all don't know about. Like, and this shit is ridiculous. Like you got all kind of shit that be going on. Like, so I say that to say this. When you got an unemployment rate that's so high in a black community like that, and the people you're hiring, like for city of Los Angeles, you got a lot of people who can't even read or write English, but they drive in city equipment. You're telling me these people are more qualified than somebody in South LA who's unemployed because 8 years ago somebody had a gun on them for protection and they got caught with it. Now they got this on their record, but since then that person never done anything, raised a family, got kids, doing all this, never got in contact with the law again. But you won't hire this person because you say, "Oh well, we can't find no." Are you looking for everybody with clean records? I'm gonna be real. Like like myself and a lot of other people. We some people say, "Oh, you niggas missed out on a lot of fun," and yeah, we missed out on a lot of fun probably, but we benefiting from it now. So
Yeah.
a lot of people, I tell people all the time, I don't miss shit. I didn't miss nothing. Y'all think we did. Some of y'all that said we missed some shit right now is just picking the pieces up to y'all life in y'all 40s. So uh I'ma just be real. A lot of people want to say that you did, you know, and you know what's so sad too? That's for men and women. Get rid of the whole phase. Some people think they're going, oh, I gotta go through my whole phase. No, nobody has a whole phase. That's some shit you put yourself in, men and women. There's no such thing as a whole phase. One of the biggest decisions of some of these young men and women nowadays, which I hate to say men, but you see it in the streets nowadays, is should I be straight or go both ways? That should not be a decision in your life. If you have parenting, you should know straight is the way.
Yeah.
So some people gotta be mindful of their morals. Some people gotta need to respect their parents in general. Some people say, I don't be cussing my people out. No, but the shit you doing is disrespectful. It makes them look bad also. You know, um,
And it does.
some people
And
don't realize
some
that.
people, you got a lot of people that blame the way kids behave on the parents or on the parenting when you're not realizing that when a child gets a certain age, they start to make decisions of their own. You cannot blame the parents anymore because the parents did everything they possibly could while they were under the parent care. Now, as an adult, they are making adult decisions. So you cannot keep blaming the person that is in front of you as an adult on their parents.
No, you can't. And also, too, people stick to your morals. Um, a lot of people want to feed into the bullshit that they see on TV, streets, whatever. Even some people don't know shit about the streets. Oh, I can't say nothing because I'm gonna look as a snitch. And for example, for some people say, oh, now you want to go out snitch. No, I'm saying that to say this. Somebody breaks in your house, you see who it is. Somebody breaks in your house, you see who it is. You got a clear picture of the person. You tell the police, you call the police, I got this, that, and that. You're doing your due diligence as a civilian. You know, somebody just tried to probably harm you. Some people stick to the streets more than they do the moral codes of life. You know what I'm saying? Some people live by the jail code on the street and never been to jail. You know what I'm saying? How many people are eating spreads and never been to jail? You know, you got some cats at home right now making up spreads and never been suspended from school. Like, what are you doing making spreads? You watching too much TV. Some people don't tend to realize that. But again, like I said, you just got to get back to your morals. Get back to reality. People need to speak up, especially if you see something wrong, even in the workplace. Speak up. And I say that to say this: like this show, accountability should be held everywhere. Is simply because the stuff I've experienced, seen, stuff that the people tell me about every day, stuff that I see. You know, like I say, a lot of us work out throughout these different city parks throughout South LA, East LA. You know, we're not gang members. We enjoy being able to go where we want to go. So we utilize that privilege. You know what I mean? We don't have no hatreds in our heart. The people that hang around us, we got people from different nationalities. Some people might hear this show and say, oh, these guys may not like Hispanics. Most of the people that hang around us are Hispanic. So a lot of people need to just snap back into reality. It's not about the bullshit that you think that you know in your head. It's about the stuff that you know is really going on. You know. Other things, Grammy Awards add 5 new categories. You know, that is something that's going on. I think Bad Bunny is nominated for some stuff. They got a bunch of stuff going on, stuff for the fire relief victims. You know, the Grammy is going to be held. You know, everybody know where that at. The categories, the new categories: Asian pop performance, Latin song, traditional vocal performance, R&B collaboration, traditional folk album. I wonder what's a traditional folk album. But I would love to see what the R&B collaboration new category in the Grammy Awards is going to be about. You know, that should be interesting. But like I say, man, summer's here. Football season will be here pretty soon. Shout out to the Texan Nation. Shout out to Blessed to Be a Texan fan page, which I'm a part of. Been there a long time member. I'm a long time Oilers Texan fan. Warren Moon is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Blessed to Be a Texan fan is probably the best fan page on Facebook.
Steelers Nation.
Well, this is a Steeler fan right here. And so you could tell how the football games go in our house. This is my wife. And you know, right now the Texans are one up on the Steelers because the last time we played was I think the playoffs and Mr. Will Anderson and Mr. Daniil Hunter almost sent Mr. Aaron Rodgers to his final resting place.
Okay. Y'all barely could touch him though. I'm gonna be honest.
I think the score was like what 30-6 or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. Don't go there. Because we didn't beat y'all way too many times, so you need to talk about that.
I'm saying it right now.
Y'all
Super
finally
Bowl,
get a win.
Super Bowl will be the Texans versus the Rams. You will have that defense headed by Mr. Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter, along with the new Sting. I ain't talking about the wrestler. I'm talking about Derek Stingley. Lassiter, Laser Lassiter, you know, you got all them cats back there, man. You know, and the Rams, you know, people know they just got Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald came out of retirement. It's going to be some interesting defensive football going on this season. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a Texan fan. I don't care. I was an Oiler fan, but I was an Oiler fan when we had sports here in LA. So don't get me wrong. I've never been a Raider fan. I don't hate the Raiders, but I've never been a Raider fan. Most of the people here, Raider Nation. I'm not a Raider Nation.
49ers. They always want to be 49er fans.
I'm not a 49er fan. You know, I like the Chargers if I had to pick a team. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Chargers were an original expansion team in LA before they moved to San Diego. But like I said, NFL season will be here soon. Texan Nation. Shout out to the Texans. Texans and Rams will be in the Super Bowl. I'm saying that right now.
Said that last year, but okay.
And tell you the truth, man, and I'm not finna bring up painful memories, but A lot of people want to talk that shit. Oh, CJ Stroud wasn't ready.
He wasn't. Like, he was in there, but he wasn't in there. Like, I don't think he was fully mentally there. Like, a lot of stuff he did, he could have won it for y'all, but you gotta want it.
Yeah.
Get
Well,
out of that timid shit.
like I say, man, we ain't gonna be on here too long. You want to get the people something they can use before we get up out of here? Go ahead, do your thing.
Get the people something they can use. How about some lotto numbers? I don't know. Just be blessed. Realize that today is right now. Yesterday is gone, and tomorrow isn't promised. So tell those that you love them today, that you might not be able to tell them tomorrow. Less stress, my heavenly melanated people. Stress less, especially my women. That is our number one killer for African American women, is stress. So let's try to stress less and be blessed. I'm out.
Like Ronnie Coleman said, lightweight, baby. You got to take it light. You know, I mean, it's a lot of shit that you could tell people, but I mean, a lot of people ain't gonna listen. But you know, for the people that will try to listen, you know, listen to your body for one. A lot of people don't want to listen to their body. A lot of people listen to everybody else, but listen to your own body. Listen to yourself. Go with your gut. And if your gut is saying your stomach hurt, then maybe you need to take a shit. This West of the 110, man. We'll catch y'all later.